Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Pathway, episode 5. And we have a pretty cool edition. We've got a very quick roundtable, and then we're following that up with a bumper interview segment with the coach and the captain of the back-to-back women's champions here in Ontario as they look forward to the inaugural Women's Canadian Championship as well. So it's going to be a different kind of episode today, but one we hope you still enjoy. So as always, we can only grow this with your support too. So like, share. If you like the segments as well, tag your favorite players in there too. We might want them on the show in the future as well. But otherwise, thanks for joining. And now let's hit the opening segment, which is our weekly roundtable. Now, before we kick things off, I'd like to acknowledge a proud partner of Premier Soccer Leagues Canada, Major Sports Analysis. MSA delivers the data behind the game. Every men's and women's OPL match is powered by MSA Insights with performance features and data-driven spotlights across the league. So let's get started with our roundtable. We've got 3 of our regulars here, Carlisle, Nelson, and Alf. And we want to just see what's happening top of mind from you 3 and then have a quick chat about it. So Carlisle, what's happening in your world and where are your thoughts at?
Well, first thing I'd like to just shout out a player who's making the jump right now overseas, coming to OPL1. Leandro Stalteri has climbed the ranks with the Woodbridge Strikers program since he was 5 years old. If the name sounds familiar, he is the son of Canada International Paul Stalteri, who's a technical advisor with Woodbridge Strikers as well. He posted a goodbye message a couple weeks ago, and his head coach Peter Pernizzato has confirmed to me that he has left the team to pursue opportunities overseas. He's 17 years old, a versatile midfielder, has a goal scoring touch, and he appeared even all 90 minutes for Woodbridge Strikers when they made their Canadian Championship appearance this year as well. So first and foremost, just best of luck to him as he's trying to make that jump overseas. I know his dad made that jump at 21, so he's getting there a little earlier than Paul did when he moved over to Werder Bremen. So yeah, just best of luck to Leandro as he makes that move. As far as the league races right now, I'm keeping my eye on the OPL2 in the men's division. What an insane promotion race we have right now there. Leading the way as we record this on a Thursday afternoon, the Borough on top with 33 points, but they have more games played than the teams that are right on their heels. You've got Masters with a game in hand on 32 points, Windsor City 2 games in hand on 32 points. So right now it's in their hands because first place gets an automatic promotion spot. Second place goes into the playoff mode, but then Whitby and Waterloo are right there as well. And Waterloo play the Borough this weekend. So 4 points separating first from fifth. When you're, designing this new system that the Ontario soccer structure has transformed into over the last couple of years, this is exactly what we would have had in mind, is to have these crazy races. Only 2 teams have a shot, and there are 5 teams in the mix. I think it's going to be really exciting.
And Nelson, same question to you. I know you keep quite interested in what's happening in the Prairie. So give us a bit of an update from what you're seeing.
I mean, things are heating up in central Canada ever since the announcement of NSL Winnipeg, led by Desiree Scott and Rob Gale. That pathway has truly come to fruition in what is generally an overlooked part of the country. And the PPL is providing so much entertainment for fans of the 6 teams in either division. I want to give a special shout out to Jessica Chow, captain of the Bonnie Vital Flames women's side, for them capturing the inaugural women's title. And on the men's side, the Thunder Bay Chill are returning to winning form. We've seen them win the Deep North Division multiple times when they were in USL2, and now they've claimed the inaugural PPL men's title. A dominant performance on both sides. Unfortunately for the Chills women's team, it came down to the last game, and Bonnevital taking out Queen City United 3-0 in their last match sealed the deal. However, we know that just because of Ella Favett alone, her getting the golden boot in the women's division, she's going to be a top contender if she wants to make that pro leap. I mentioned it last episode for an NSL Winnipeg. It will keep her close to home. It will prove that pathway exists. And if Desiree Scott, who is from Winnipeg, shout out to the Ottawa Rapid as she made her appearances there, if she wants to really build a Central Canadian team, talent like Ella Favett is going to be exactly what she's looking for. So again, the PPL is providing great entertainment, and I cannot wait for the 2027 season.
Awesome. Well, yeah, excited to get more info and news from the PPL as well as next season starts. So keep us always abreast of that information, because I know you've got like a keen passion for that league. And Al, finally coming over to you, I know you've been keeping tabs on just how competitive certain leagues are, specifically with how the cups are going. Will you share that with us?
Yeah, I found it interesting that both the men's and women's cup finals this year featured OPL1 and OPL2 teams. The women's cup final was played on Wednesday evening of this week with Guelph United reigning champions, defeating Hamilton United, which was the OPL team. I had a chance to call a game involving Hamilton United not so long ago, and they are a very solid outfit for a competitive OPL2 division, and certainly maybe the scoreline wouldn't indicate that, but that's a good program in terms of being able to get to a League Cup final against a top-notch club in Guelph. And looking ahead to the men's final next month, we have another OPL1 versus OPL2 matchup with Woodbridge taking on Masters FA. So that's quite an achievement for the Masters program, who are, I think, as Carlisle pointed out, in that race for promotion in OPL2, along with a number of other teams. So interesting that there is more competitive balance, at least there seems to be, from the cup competitions in both the men's and women's programs. And I just wanted to also point out, Carlisle mentioned Borough FC leading the way in OPL2. They also have a team at the top of the division in OPL3 Northeast, and their under 20 team in the Northeast is second in that category. So that's quite an achievement for a club that's really only in their third year of operation to be able to be contending for promotion in three different categories, or at least two different categories in the under 20 program as well. So congratulations go out to Andrew Warnock and his group at Borough FC.
Perfect. Well, thanks, gents. And we are going to keep this one short this time, because we're going to head over to the main part of the show this week, which is the Simcoe County Rovers double interview with head coach Zack and also captain Adriane Devlin. They're going to be talking about their back-to-back championships and also looking forward to what is the inaugural Women's Canadian Championship. I'm sure the four of us will be talking about that in the future as well. So thanks for your time today, and look forward to chatting to you again in the future. Okay, so our next guests are following an outstanding season for Simcoe County Rovers. They've just been crowned back-to-back Women's Ontario Premier League champions, and then they are now looking forward. They don't even get time to celebrate because there's something super exciting around the corner as well. So, Zack, Adriane, how we doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
Now, I'll just run through some of the stats of the season as well, because obviously it's amazing to have you on the pathway. And it's super cool talking to people behind a campaign that's unbeaten, recording 14 wins and 2 draws, 47 goals, 10 conceded. So both the strongest attack and the defense in the league. And obviously quality throughout the squad as well. Ashley Campbell finishing among the league's leading scorers. And now you're about to turn your attention towards a historic opportunity, as it's the inaugural Women Canadian Championship as well, starting in August. So congratulations. Welcome to the show. And I'll start with Zack. Let's begin with the achievement itself. Back-to-back league titles. And this one, like I said, off the back of an undefeated season. What are you most proud of when you look back of the season? That's the league season, I should say, that's just gone.
I think, like, as you said, like, last year in 2025, we probably snuck up on some people, as the year before we were in like a relegation fight. So it was kind of a tale of two swings, and we had some new people come in. Like I've been with Adriane since 2022 and then 2025. And so she's been there right from the get go of my first year ever with them. And I think the thing that I'm most proud about is just the consistency, as it is such a hard league. You get punished for your mistakes. And now when people knew who we were, they knew how we played, they were coming for you. And we kind of took it game by game, day by day. And it's pretty remarkable. And I think when we look back on these last 2 years, credit to the girls. Like, I think they're 34 unbeaten in regular season play. Like, some things that I kind of take a step back out sometimes, and I'm pretty shocked by what they've done and what they've accomplished. And something that I've said all along, a lot of them are U Sport players, and I think they deserve a lot more respect. And that's what I'm most proud about of the squad.
And Adriane, a tangent from there as well. So inside the dressing room, what made this group capable of maintaining such a high standard throughout the season? You know, top goals, least conceded, unbeaten. It's not a normal campaign that you've just had.
No. I think there's a kind of bonding that we have with this team. So it's not just this year, it's last year as well. A lot of the girls returned, so it wasn't just a fully new team. We did bring in new players like Ash and Talia and Hannah Chown. We did bring in new players, and they bonded so well with the people that we already had. The team chemistry on and off the field is so, like, it's so fun to see and so fun to be around. Like, we're always cracking jokes, we're always laughing, and I think that's the most important thing about having a strong team is, you know, like, being able to play tough on the field, but being able to take a step back and unite as a team and like chill on the sidelines and, you know, have fun. And I think just being together and having a strong team like that is super important into like producing a win or producing some kind of outcome like that, especially if it's attacking, scoring goals, or defending as a unit and kind of stuff like that. Being together so much is so like powerful in that kind of sense, and it really puts the team together, and it's fun to play with and it's fun to be around.
And talk to me about that title clinching moment. You secured the championship with a 2-0 victory over FC London Women's.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about that final whistle and the celebrations right after?
Oh, it was kind of relieving, you know, in a sense where it's like, okay, we did it. Like, you know, like it's like Zack said, it's a very tight league, you know, one step, one thing can go wrong, and, you know, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what the outcome's going to be. So, you know, when the final whistle went and we actually, you know, did it again, back to back, and it's such a relieving and rewarding experience. So I think all of us just took a deep breath and we were like, we did it, we're good, you know, like, and we came together as a team again and celebrated afterwards, and, you know, we're ready to celebrate again, you know. So yeah.
I love it. I love that celebratory feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Zack, let's talk about the depth across the team. So in my intro, I did say Ashley Campbell finished amongst the league's leading scorers, but she was by no means the only one on that chart. So goals and contributions came from all over the team, and obviously really tight in defense as well. How important is depth to winning this kind of championship?
Yeah, it's super important, and I think it's something that we don't talk a lot about is obviously this campaign, the last campaign for us from a goal scoring perspective is a lot different. Last year we had Ali Rowe, who kind of led the league in scoring. I think it was around 50% of our output was from Ali, where this year it's like totally flipped, where we have, I think, 4 or 5 within that like 8 to 5 goal range. So we're kind of scoring from all over the field, which is really interesting because, one, it's a total different way that our mentality is the same, but the way that we're playing, the way that we're producing is a lot different. And then unfortunately, like our 2 starting center backs last year, like Abby Rowe and Brianna Caldwell, they've basically been out all year. So it's been huge. Like Tia Schaefer's come in and played a massive role for us. Hannah Chown, obviously coming off the season that she had in U Sports and then coming to us has been fantastic. Sabrina Basante's put in 6 goals, the most she's ever had in a Premier League campaign, and who was playing a lot of League 2 minutes the year before. So the depth has been crucial for us from that perspective. Talia Walker, the same thing. And she's battling through some things. So probably where we all thought, like at the start of the year, it kind of turned out a lot different as it went on, just because of life and injuries and just things that we don't expect. And then you have really young kids who've stepped up in big moments, from Avery Cafaro to Erica Zhang to Tiana Manella to Maya Raymond. And these are young up-and-coming players who get to be surrounded by like players like Adriane, who's won at every single level that she's been at, from Ottawa to Simcoe, and it's just consistent. And they get to hear them speak, they get to hear them talk, they get to be around them day in and day out, and then it becomes contagious. So they've grown over the year, as we've seen, and they've really bought in. And I think that's kind of the thing that I would say from depth is it's so important, but trust from coaching staff to players and players to coaching staff, and then the players to the players, because they're the ones at the end of the day that are on the field sprinting in 45-degree heat when it's on the turf, and you don't want to be doing it on a Saturday at 2:00, right? So I think that's probably what I would say on the depth is it's crucial.
So you're obviously talking about leadership and culture being very strong in the team, and would be a great question to ask the captain how you would describe the culture within the team. And as captain as well, what responsibility did you feel for not just creating it, but also protecting it during the season?
Yeah, well, first things first, I don't think I'm the only leader on the team. We have a lot of players that have been captains on their own teams, whether that's youth sports or their own OPL teams or whatever it is. Me being captain is I'm honored and blessed, every single day to be, being a leader on the team like this. But I think that we have players like Bree and Steph and Mare who are also big leaders, and we all say things before games and to hype each other up and to show that support. And, especially like Zach said, if we have younger players on the team, make sure that they understand their roles and their responsibilities before they come onto the field. And, just again, with the team chemistry thing, making sure everyone has quote unquote good vibes. That's a very common saying that we have in the change room. Yeah. Everyone has to have good vibes before we go on the field. And I think just having everyone know what our goal is, everyone knew coming into this season, we're no longer the underdogs, right? We no longer have that, surprise capabilities coming into the season. Everyone knew where we're coming from. And, we came off of a wonderful 2025 season, dreams straight out of a dream, and a lot of players who were returning had that same mentality again. So those players coming in, whether they're younger or whether they're new coming into Simcoe County, we made sure that they knew the role as well. And it's okay, we're not settling for second place. We're not settling for third. We're not settling for fourth. We're coming in and we're doing the exact same thing that we did last year with maybe a different structure, different things like that Zach was saying. But I think we were so successful in it because we had so many leaders on the team, and I was just there to kind of support them, there's nothing more that I think I could have done because everyone else is already so wonderful on the team, it was such a beautiful experience, 2025 and 2026, to have so many leaders, I guess, on the team. It's not just me, I don't think.
Yeah. So everything you're saying does embody good vibes and good vibes moving forward as well. Because as much as you folks are speaking about looking back, obviously just around the corner in about 20 days, I think actually you're going to be competing in the inaugural, the first ever Women's Canadian Championship. Now, Zach, tell me, how significant is it for Simcoe to represent Ontario, but also the Premier Soccer Leagues of Canada in the first edition of this national competition?
Yeah, I think it's unbelievable. We kind of spoke about nationals last year. That was unbelievable, representing Ontario. And this group gets to do something that's historic, first time ever. And we're going up against one of the best. We drew one of the best. They're second place right now in the NSL. We know how they play. They're a very good team. Obviously, budgets wise, it's like a $1.5 million salary budget. To these girls are working nursing jobs, HR jobs, teachers. So But again, there's nothing that this group can't do. So we're really excited. We're looking forward to it. And I think the best part for them is they get to compete against pro players who've played in World Cups, and they get to show themselves on the biggest of stages. And knowing what I know in this group, they're not going to be afraid of the moment, and they're going to get after them.
And Adriane, tell us about the reaction in the dressing room or on the chat with the team when you heard the matchup was going to be against Montreal Roses.
Mostly excitement. Again, like playing a second team NSL team, of course, there's going to be a little bit of jitters, a little bit of stress, a little bit of nervousness. But I think, again, with our team, it's just a constant, like, repetitive thing where we are always ready to take it to the next level. Like, we have done nationals, we've done OPL twice now. I think we're ready to go to the next level and see how we do and see how we compare with pro teams and next level players as well. I think it's a super exciting opportunity for all of us to experience. And I think all of us in the change room were like, oh, what an opportunity, like it's just something to be grateful for. It's something to be excited for,
Amazing. Now, we actually had Montreal's goalkeeper, Anna Karpenko, on the show a couple of episodes ago. And we very much spoke about the pathway. This show's called The Pathway, about coming full circle in terms of people using the leagues for their professional development. So that's been a great story for us, particularly from the feedback we've had from hearing about her. I'd love to pick both of your brains on that. So Zack, how valuable is it for the OPL players to compete against someone who previously came through the same pathway? And also, what are you looking for in your players to see them taking that next step?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when you look at the OPL pathway, it's an opportunity for teams around the league to see what the level really is a difference. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're able to go right up against them, but you look in the league, like I'm just looking right in our backyard in Toronto, Lauren Rowe from Cape Breton, a U Sports player, played in the Premier League last year, and she's scoring at a great rate for Toronto right now. So it shows that when these players get opportunities in those environments, that they're training every day, and they're eating, they're being fed, and they're in the weight room, like, where can they go? Obviously, I'm biased with the group that I work with, but I think there's plenty of them that can play at that level. So for me, the pathway is important, and now they've get the chance to go out and compete against them and see. And we know that we're a big underdogs for the first time all season, but that's kind of what's exciting for us. So I think you've seen it in Lauren Rowe, you've seen it in Anna Karpenko. You've seen it in Julia Bonatti. Like, these are players that our players have competed against historically. They've been teammates, some of them. They've been opponents. But you see those players having success in the league. And that's where I think it's really cool that we get a chance, and we'll see how we do.
And Adriane, what message does an opportunity like this, both the pathway itself, but then also testing yourself against players who have made that step up, what message does that send to younger players coming through clubs across Ontario, including your own?
I think it's a message where it's like, we can keep it in Canada, like, I think it's so important for, especially now that the NSL is up and running, and it's been so successful the past 2 years now. I think having women see this and see it as an opportunity to stay in Canada and to produce more athletes from Canada, born in Canada, raise them up and see what else they can do, like whether that's play for Team Canada nationally, or whether they want to do something else, stay with the NSL, play pro, have a lifestyle with the NSL, and, like, mature with the NSL. That's now something that is an outlet for players to, I guess, observe and to go into and kind of dream into. Before the NSL, we didn't really have that, where it's like we kind of had to go through different routes to see what we could do, what we could pull from, whether that's something, if it was into the States or in Europe or somewhere like that. And then we could come back into Canada and ask to, like, play for pro or do something like that. But now I think it's just the message is clear now, where it's like we can stay in Canada. There are opportunities for you to grow, and there is a pathway here for you to take, because Lauren Rowe did it. Now we have all these other, Julia Bonatti did it, you know, like we have these pathways now where there's no stop anymore. We can keep going. And I think that's so influential for these players coming up. And I can't wait to see what else is next, you know, like it's exciting. If we're still like fresh into it, you know, it's only been like not even 2 years yet. And so much has already started. There's so many young fans coming out to these AFC games all over Canada. Like it's going to be cool. It's going to be very exciting to see.
Amazing. Well, congratulations again on becoming back-to-back champions, and best of luck against Montreal Roses. We'll be following from the pathway, supporting you throughout the competition, and hopefully we can have you back on later in the summer to see how it went.
For sure. That's so exciting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to you both.
Thank you.